So today we're going to talk about how do we calculate the sample mean and the sample standard deviation by hand and using Excel. So if you collect some data from a sample and the variable will be x, and suppose the values for the variable are very simple numbers. Here as an example, we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So from statistic textbook, you can find the formula to calculate sample mean. We use x bar represent sample mean. X bar will equal to summation of xi divided by n. So just a note here, you're going to see this summation sign in statistic a lot. What it means just means add up all the values, summation. And the formula to calculate sample standard deviation will be, we use S represent sample standard deviation will equal to the square root of, they have a fraction, on top of the fraction is summation of xi minus x bar squared, on the bottom is n subtract 1. In both formulas, n is sample size, just how many individuals you have in your sample data. In other words, how many different values you have for your data. So you have 5 values, 5 individuals. Sample size equal to 5. So anytime when you have a summation sign in the formula, and sometimes it could be a very complex formula, I would recommend you to use a worksheet to do the calculation. The worksheet will give you very organized calculation. So for example, in here, we're going to design a worksheet. So the first column of the worksheet will be xi. It's basically the variable you're trying to calculate. Okay. So we're going to list all the values of that variable in the first column. However many values you have, just list all of them. So here we have 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So then, on the bottom of the worksheet, we can calculate a column total. So the column total for the first column will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. We can use the calculator. We can calculate the sum will equal to 15. So what is that 15 referred to? It's basically referring to summation of xi. So summation just means add up. So we add up all the values of xi. What's that result? So that's summation of xi. So in this case, summation is basically our total for the first column, right? So summation of xi will be equal to 15. And from this result, we can calculate the sample mean x bar, because sample mean x bar will equal to summation of xi divided by n, where summation of xi we just find out equal to 15. N will be 5. We'll have 5 individuals in the sample data. So the sample mean will be 3. X bar equal to 3. So calculating sample mean is very easy. The main reason we design a worksheet is calculate the sample standard deviation. So we're going to use the same strategy. So if we can create a column called xi minus x bar squared, then the column total will be the summation of xi minus x bar squared. Okay. So the process will be, we're going to get the second column as x bar. So x bar basically is the sample mean we just calculated, which equal to 3. So we write 3 for the entire column. Okay, that's second column. Then the third column will be xi minus x bar. So basically the xi column subtract x bar column for each row respectively. So the first row will be 1 subtract 3, we got -2. And 2 subtract 3, -1. 3 subtract 3, 0. 4 subtract 3, 1. 5 subtract 3, equal to 2. Okay, we're very close now. Now we can get a next column as xi minus x bar squared. So that will be xi minus x bar column make a square. So for every number, we take a square of it. -2 take a square. We got +4. So be very careful. For anything square as a positive number, you're never going to get a negative number for something squared. -1 square, +1. 0 square equal to 0. 1 square equal to 1. 2 square equal to 4. Okay. So then we can get a column total for the last column here. So that'll be 4 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4. We got 10 as the column total. So what does 10 represent? It will represent summation of xi minus x bar squared. So summation of xi minus x bar squared will equal to 10 from our calculation. And from here, we can calculate the sample standard deviation very easily. So we copy down the formula as equal to square root of summation of xi minus x bar squared divided by -1. That's the formula we have on top. So now we can put the numbers. So we keep the square root sign and then fraction. So we can see the summation of xi minus x bar squared in the formula is just what we got from the worksheet. That's the column total 10. Since n equal to 5, just put 5 in there and subtract 1. And it's a very easy calculation now, right? So it will be square root of 10 divided by 4, which is 2.5. And then we just use a calculator to calculate what's the square root of 2.5. So it will be 1.58 if you want to keep 2 decimal places. So the standard deviation calculation is done now. So with this design, you can calculate sample standard deviation for any sample data set. So all you need to do is put the values of that variable in the first column and calculate the first column total. From there, we can calculate the sample mean, x bar. Put x bar into the second column. Then we're going to find the deviation, xi minus x bar. So calculate each column, calculate each number. And then the last column will be xi minus x bar squared. And that column total will be what we are going to use in calculating the sample standard deviation. So now let's look at how do we use Excel to do calculations. So we're going to get a blank Excel and trying to make this a little bigger. So if we go to View, Zoom, so we can do maybe 200%. So that'll be a little bigger, so it's easier for you to see. So we're going to copy our data in the Excel workbook. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Okay. So to calculate sample mean, you can click on any empty cell. So we press equal, and then we're going to use the formula, the function to calculate the sample mean. You know, mean is just like average, so Excel will use average function. After you type in average, you start the parentheses, so tell you what kind of arguments you need to calculate average. So basically, you just need to list all the numbers that you are trying to calculate for the sample mean. So in Excel, what you can do is you can click on the first number, its start point, and then you press on the Shift key on the keyboard, and then press the last number and end. So it's going to highlight all the number in between. So that's the range of values we want to calculate the average of. And in the parentheses, press enter. That gives you your sample mean X bar. And here on the cell in front of it, we can just kind of label what it is. So that's our sample mean. We can make the column a little wider to see the full spelling of the words. So sample mean. So we can also calculate sample standard deviation very easily from Excel as well. So we put the label first. So then on any empty cell, we press equal to, and then the function will be stdev. So you can see when you start to type the function, a list of Excel functions will pop up for you. So you just need to choose the one that you're going to use. We're going to use stdev function. You can, press on that as well. So that will tell you you're going to choose that function, and it's going to start parentheses automatically for you. So the arguments for standard deviation function is also you need to list all the numbers that you're trying to calculate out. So what you can do is press the first number and then press the shift key. At the same time, you click on the last number. So it's going to highlight the whole range of number that you're interested in. So you close the parentheses and then click enter. So that will give you the sample standard deviation calculated. So we get the same number as how we calculate manually. So this is it. Thank you.